In this episode of Chapman's Notes, we're going to talk about Jack Canfield's success principle number 7 and 8. Both of them have to do with goal setting. Number 7 is unleashing the power of goals, and number 8 is chunking it down. Chapman's Notes, what we do is we take self-help books or psychology books. I infuse my expertise. Then we give you ways to apply this knowledge to become optimal performers. So in this principle number 7, principle number 8, both revolving around goals, a couple things for you to keep in mind. I get questions, I answer questions on Core. One of the questions I get a lot is around goals, and it'll be something like, well, how important are goals really? Shouldn't we focus more on just living in the moment? Why should we be burdened by these goals? And that might be how you're thinking about it. Like, oh, goal this, goal that. Everybody's talking about goals because it's New Year's Eve and it's a new year, new me. So you might be tired of hearing about this idea of goals. But I want to give you another way to think about it. We are goal-driven beings, right? We're goal-driven human beings. Our brain is developed that way. We have this part of our brain, the prefrontal cortex, that is responsible for executive kind of functioning, planning, and moving towards goals. So whether you intend to or not, you're going to be moving towards a goal. The question is, are you moving towards the goal you decided for yourself, or are you moving toward goals that other people have decided for you? So think about life as just like a car. You're in a car, you're going to be moving, and your car is not going to stop moving just because you haven't created some goals. Just that it's going to be moving in a direction that other people have decided for you, because we don't stop moving. So goal setting, what it does for you is put you in the driver's seat of the car. Right now you can be the one determining where you're going to go and how you're going to go. But it can be overwhelming because sometimes we get in the car and we're thinking about how far we have to go. Like, okay, you're in Michigan and you think you got to drive to Florida. You realize it's going to take you over 24 hours. You don't know how you're going to make it the whole duration of the trip. But don't think about all of the time it's going to take you. Go state by state. That's what we're talking about when we say chunk it down. So chunking it down means that I take a bigger, broader goal and I chunk it down. And I've had to do this at various points in my life. So through all of my academics, but definitely when I was working on a doctorate degree. Now, if I would have sat down at the beginning and realized how much it was going to take to get at the end, I probably would not be here today. But I didn't focus so much on the end until I got to the end. I took it day by day, which was important for me because while I was working on my doctorate degree, I was doing other things. Like I was teaching, I was doing administration. So I needed to focus on each day, and each day needed to have its own purpose. So what I would do is just chunk down my goals. I would plan, like, okay, here's my graduate program, and this is what I need to do this semester, right? I need to take these 5 classes, and then I would just take it each class by class, assignment by assignment, because I had no choice because I had all these other things going on. But this is what chunking it down is. Whether you're a person who has tackled a big project, like maybe building something like a tree house, or a college student, or whatever the case may be. We'll go back to the example of college students, say you're undergraduate college students, because I know it can be overwhelming thinking about how long it's going to take to get a 4-year degree, 120 credits. Well, don't think about the 120 credits. Think about how many classes you're going to tackle each semester. And then once you know, okay, this semester I'm taking 5 classes, then each week focus on the classes you're taking on each day. And then the assignments that you have coming up for each day. What you will find out as you focus on each day, and then you start to focus on each semester, the days will go by, the semesters will go by, and then eventually you're going to add up enough courses to get the degree. Whereas if you get overwhelmed by the end at the beginning, you may not even start the journey. So that's what we mean when we say chunk it down. Let me give you one more example, and we'll just stay on the same vein of college. Let's just say you come to my course and I say, welcome to my course. What I want you to do this semester is you're going to be writing a 50-page paper. Let's just say it's a 16-week semester. Now, some of you might just be like, peace, I'm out as soon as class starts, because you're not going to write a 50-page paper. But if you decide you're going to be brave and stay in the course, now you have to figure out how you're going to complete this 50-page paper. There's a number of ways you can do it, but let's just use this as an example of chunking it down. If you know there are 16 weeks in the course, let's just say it's due at the end of the course. You want to be done maybe a week earlier, so you want to get it done in 15 weeks. If you do about 3 pages a week, that's going to be 45 pages. You're going to have to add a couple extra pages somewhere in between so you can get done by the 15-week mark. So 3 to 4 pages per week is what we're looking at. You're going to do every week, you're going to complete 3 to 4 pages, and that's going to be your goal for the week. And then if you have a week where you're kind of overwhelmed because of the other classes you have and other things you have going on, then you can catch up the next week and do 8 that week instead of the 4 because you missed. And that will lead to you having the 50 pages at the end of the semester. That's how some people finish their dissertation. They do a little bit of writing each day until they get the particular task done. But that's just an example of how chunking it down can work. You take a big thing like a 50-page paper, you decide how you can break it down in little chunks. This is what you're going to accomplish each week to get it done. Stick to that goal, and as you progress weekly, you will eventually accumulate all of the pages you need to finish your paper in 50 weeks. So we've been talking about unleashing the power of the goal, which is important because remember, otherwise you're in a car that someone else is driving. The car doesn't stop just because you decide you don't want to set goals. Your brain is designed to be goal driven, so you might as well tap into that power. And if you get overwhelmed, all you have to do is chunk it down. Instead of thinking about driving from Michigan to Florida, think about Michigan to Ohio, then Ohio to the next state, so on and so forth until you get to Florida. We're going to see you the next time on Chapman's Notes. If you enjoyed this episode of Chapman's Notes, tune in to my Udemy course, How to Write Goals That Win. It'll take you through a process from A to Z on how to write goals with some logical steps and then some basic barriers that we experience. Check it out on Udemy.